Hello and welcome to the Nita Black Show. I'm in a little less pain today, so we should be able to get through it. Hopefully the pain won't spike while I'm in the middle of the show. But for those of you that have been listening to the show, we got a lot of calls yesterday, a lot of emails about the Willie Lynch porn. And some people had heard it before and hadn't heard it in a while, and other people heard it for the first time yesterday. So we're glad that you liked it. And you can always go to the website, either BACA Berry, B as in boy, H as in Harry, C as in cat, A as in apple, B as in boy, E as in Albert, R as in Ralph, I as in Institute, that's BACA Berry, and you can get some of the information for those that wanted to support the Poetry Museum. You can just click on the donate button and give your support. If you want to see all of the poems, well, most of the poems, we couldn't fit all of the poems, but if you want to see any of the poems that you hear on the show, you can always go to our television show, which is DYC-TV. You just put DYC-TV in the search engine, you should get our DYC-TV television station, and you'll be able to go to the section where the shows are. So now, let's start you off with a poem today, and this one is called Video Games in School. You represent your family, whether that be good or bad, a reflection of your dad and mom and the parenting you had. Some parents did their very best, some didn't do so well, but either way, the way you act will surely tell the tale. Some parents gave you every chance to do things with your life, but when you're grown and choose to fail, it cuts them like a knife. Black children used to be the best. They naturally were smart. Though many tried to hold them back, they were achievers from the start. They knew just what they had to do. They had to be the best. They studied the hardest that they could and passed every test. Now many of them that play in class, they cannot read and write. They do not do their homework. They play video games at night. No, they barely make enough on their jobs to pay a single bill. They spend the rest on food and clothes, but there are things they are needing still. Now they're getting older, and for them life is getting cruel. And now they need the education that they didn't get in school. Okay, that's our Video Games in School poem. It's a Black Panther poem from Nita Black. And someone requested a poem that they heard a little while back, and so I'm going to hit you with that one today, and hopefully they're listening, and they say it touched them because of their own personal situation. This one is called The Devil Caught a Black Man Slipping. I watched rap music lynch my son. I couldn't believe my eyes. He fell for every single trick and broke to my surprise. I thought I'd raised him to be great, a leader from the start. But one day when he turned 16, he broke his mother's heart. The girls thought he was quite a catch. They whispered in his ears. They said that he should come with them. His mother shed a tear. She knew her son was heading for his very own demise. She couldn't believe he didn't see those demons in disguise. He began to run out of control and clubbing every night. And though he was only 17, why didn't he see the light? His mother put him on punishment. His father whipped his butt. But soon he was going to turn 18, and that would not be enough. His 18th birthday came and went. His son was still alive, but he was living life so recklessly, his mother said goodbye. She couldn't watch him self-destruct. She said he had to leave. He said that was fine with him. Now he can go do as he pleased. His mother increased the insurance on him because she knew there would come a day when she would get a strange call late at night because her son had been blown away by a gang or police or in a drunken fight. All she could do was pray. She sent him things that he could read to help him find his way. But he had no time to read those things. He had video games to play. Those violent games of shoot 'em up, the price he would gladly pay. And his friends, well, they were all the same. They just wasted each day of their life. One was shot in the car, one was shot in the club, one was stabbed 29 times with a knife. By age 19, things were going bad. His friends were dying left and right. Each day he left his house, he knew he could be dead by that same night. And then one day it happened. Someone caught him coming home. They shot him 6 times at close blank range. With his last breath, he dialed the phone. I'm sorry, Mama, you were right in everything you said. The girl I was with is laying next to me. I'm pretty sure she's dead. I'm dying, too. I feel my blood is running down my chest. I can't blame nobody but myself. You did your very best. To show me the right way to go, you did all that you could. How could your son do so much wrong when you do so much good? You tried to get me to care for my people, but I had to get what's mine. So many things I should have done, but now I'm out of time. His eyes rolled back, his heart stopped beating. He took his final breath. He dropped the phone, a tear rolled down. All of a sudden, he could see himself. At her house, his mother raised her hands to God. She said, if I build up any chips, please use those chips to save my son because my heart can't handle this. The phone started to ring. It was her son's number. She grabbed the phone and cried. The stranger on the other end said, ma'am, your son has been revived. She rushed to the hospital so she could see him and got a wonderful surprise. As she stood there crying and looking at him, there was something in his eyes. He said to her, one day I'm going to die, and I'll take it like a man. But until then, I'm going to fight for my people because God gave me a second chance. That's The Death Caught a Black Man Slipping, a Black Panther poem from NEETTA Black. And we're going to go ahead and get into the show. Today's show is like the other ones for the week, but his name is My Name Too, Black Community Reparations Initiative. And we usually have an interesting time explaining reparations to young black children. Most of the teenagers feel like they at least know what reparations is. But, of course, to them, it's a check. And that's one of the reasons why the reparations organizations have such a hard time getting the children to support reparations, because you have all of these civil rights organizations, even the president himself, and these black reparations organizations telling black children that it's not about a check. Well, if that's what they are seeing, if they're seeing that white people made money off of the free labor of black people, then white folks got a check for the loss of labor of black people, then why is it that when you get to black people and you talk about compensation for the losses and for the degradation and whatnot, the first thing that Negroes say is that it's not about a check. And so that's, that kind of throws the children off. So, some of the texts and emails that occurred were like, why do organizations say that? Why do they say they want an apology if they know that white people really, even if they gave an apology, they're not going to mean it? Because if slavery was able to be instituted today, many white people would vote for it. So, for these black organizations to live in this sort of fantasy world, this fantasy land, that, white people are sorry for slavery. Well, no, if that was the case, you wouldn't have an entire slave trade still existing in the prison industrial complex. You wouldn't have juries going against their reasonable doubt and sending black men, black women, and black children to prison at, alarming rates. You wouldn't have the amount of of degradation and abuse that go on in these prisons if slavery was something that white America was sorry for. It is continuing. It has continued. It has never stopped. A black female is just as likely to get raped by her a white slave owner and a Negro working for her white slave owner in a female prison as she was 150, 250, 350 years ago.